Hello, we are going to be doing lesson 9. I'm going to remind you that you need to watch the video first. There is a sprint that you need to do with this lesson, so at some point you're going to need to do the sprint. I'm going to show that to you. It's been a while since we did a sprint. Remember that you have 1 minute to do the sprint, and then you're going to be flipping it over and doing the second side of the sprint, making sure that we hope that your number of problems goes up between side A and side B. That would be a great thing and would make everybody smile if you were able to improve on that. I will show the answers to the sprint when I show the answers to the rest. So I really strongly encourage you to watch the video because we're going to be learning something new called the chip model. You're going to want to see how Mr. Waldorf does that. Then you're going to come back and solve the problem application using, of course, cubes and read, write, and draw. Don't forget that you do need to write a statement that matches your story on the other side. This is a must do. It is a must do. Okay, must do there. And then you're going to come over remembering the chip model that Mr. Waldorf shared with us. You're going to use the algorithm that he showed you, which would be the vertical algorithm to solve 123 plus 16, and you're going to be using the chip model on all 3 of these problems. Some of them you are going to be composing a new 10, and some of them you will not be. Then you're coming to the next part of the video, or not the video, but your problem set, and you are going to again use the algorithm to solve 57 plus 138 using the chip model in the place values chart. Then you do have a word problem that's in 2 parts, and you need to use cubes. And read, write, and draw. I'm going to tell you that you are going to have a number that is extra information, at least for this first part. So you can cross it out if you want, but there's a good possibility that you'll need that piece of information for the second part of the problem. So remember that on this problem, you're actually going to see some extra information that you will not need to solve the first part, which is part A, and then you'll probably need pieces of this and the extra information to solve part B. Then, of course, you're coming over to the exit ticket, and you have been given the place value chart with the chip model being shown. You're going to have to tell us what the algorithm is for this model, and then finish solving it, and then you're going to come down and use the algorithm. You're going to have to rewrite, use the chip model to show your work, and then come up with the sum for 136 plus 39. So with that, go back and watch the video, do the problem don't forget to do the sprint, problem application, and so on, all the way through until you have checked all of your work, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, and send your exit ticket to your teacher. So pause the video or shut it off and then come back to it later. And there we go. That's what you're going to be doing. So pause the video. Okay, are you back? Let's take a look at the sprint and how you did on the sprint. Please remember that anything that you didn't get finished after you've corrected it, you should go back and fix. Or not fix, but finish. You should go back and finish. It's an excellent exercise for you, so pause the video so you can check this one. And we're going to show you the B side, and again, any problems that you didn't finish, once you've done your correcting, you should go back and finish. Now we are going to move on to the application problem. So we had Maria who spilled a box of paper clips. They landed on her desk and on the floor. 20 of them landed on her desk. I've circled that number. 5 more, I better put a box around that. 5 more fell on the floor than landed on her desk. So I had 5 more that fell on the floor than landed on her desk. How many paper clips did she spill? So I started off with, I actually divided this one into 2 steps to make it easier for me to understand. Started with the 20 that fell on the floor, and then I had 5 more that fell on the floor than fell on the desk. So I need to find out how many fell on the floor. I know how many fell on the desk. These 2 numbers are going to be the same. This one is 5 more on the floor than on the desk. So if I add 20 and 5 together, I will find out how many fell on the floor. I should write that in, how many fell on the floor. And I did that using the arrow model. 20 plus 5 gave me 25. So I know now how many fell on the floor. There would have been 25 that fell on the floor. Okay, then I went on to step 2. I know that 25 fell on the floor and that 20 of them fell on the desk. So I have a new equation. So I took 25 and added 20 using the arrow model, which gave me 45. Maria spilled a total of 45 paper clips. Now, the chip model is down there for reminding you that that's what Mr. Waldorf taught us in our lesson today. Coming over to you're writing your statement. This one took me twice as much space to write out. I hope you wrote something down and at least attempted to do it. Maria spilled 20 paper clips on the desk. 5 more fell on the floor than on the desk. That makes 25 that fell on the floor. Then adding the 20 that fell on her desk, which is that 20 plus the 25 that fell on the floor, gave me 45. That is a total of 45 spilled by Maria. That's pretty wordy to answer that question. Okay, moving over to now is when you started using the chip model. And you can see on this first one that you did not have to compose a new 10. Of course, you're starting with 100, 23, 100, 2 10s, and 3 1s, adding 16, which was 1 10 and 6 1s. No regrouping, so I added my 1s. 3 1s and 6 1s was 9 1s. 2 10s and 1 10 was 3 10s, and 1 100 plus 0 100s gave me a 100. Now, moving down to letter B, this one did have some composing a new 10 as I added 111 plus 79. I needed to make sure my 1s were lined up with my 1s, my 10s were lined up with my 10s, and I only had 1 100. So I started with 111, which was 1 100, 1 10, and 1 1. Then I came down to 79, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10s, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1s. I can see that I can compose a 10 by adding that 1 in here. So by adding 1 1 and 9 1s gave me 10 1s, composing a new 10 and pushing it over here. So when I composed that new 10, I had 0 1s left. Do you see any 1s over there? Nope. And I took that group of 10 that's new, that I newly composed, and I put it at the bottom of my 10 stack. Here's my 1 10 plus my 7 10s, which gave me 8 10s, plus 1 more 10, which gave me 9 10s, and then 1 100 plus 0 100s gave me 190. And you can take a look at how problem C worked because you did have to compose a 10 there. All right, so now we're going to come over to the second page, and you can look at problem D. You did have to compose a 10 with problem D. All righty, so now looking at, and anytime you need to pause the video, please feel free to do so. So we had Jose, who sold 127 books in the morning, and he sold 35 in the afternoon. Okay, at the end of the day, he had 19 books left. So you probably noticed that since we're trying to find out how many books did he sell, I really only need these 2 numbers for the first part. This is how many he sold in the morning. This is how many he sold in the afternoon. So 19 becomes extra information that at least I don't need for right now. So I'm going to ignore 19 and put a little X through that because right now I don't need it. So I started with 127 in my chip model and 35, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones in my chip model. So then I could see that I could compose a new group of 10 And here comes that new group of 10 right there. So that leaves me with 2 ones, and I used my 2 ones here. And then I had 2 10s plus 3 10s gave me 5 10s, plus 1 more 10 gave me 6 10s. And then I had 1 group of 100 plus 0 100s gave me 100. So he sold 162 books. So you notice that I didn't worry about the 19 because it wasn't important to that problem. However, when I want to find out how many books Jose had at the beginning of the day, I have to think about how many he sold, which I learned up here that he sold 162. He still had 19 that were left. I'm going to have to combine how much he sold with how much he had left. So I'm going to take that X off of there because now I do need that piece of information. So 162 plus 19, 162 in my chip model, 1 100, 6 10s, and 2 1s, and 19 that were left, 1 10 and 9 1s. I can compose a new group of 10, which I did, drawing an arrow and moving those 10s into my 10s now. And I'm going to record that by putting that group of 10 in my column of 10. So when I look over here, I had 1 1 left. So I said 1 1 was left. So I'm adding that 1 1 and putting it in my 1s column. Then I'm adding 6 10s and 1 10 gave me 7 10s. Plus 1 more 10 gave me 8 10s. 100 plus 0 hundreds gave me 100, which gave me a total of 181. Jose had 181 books at the beginning. Okay, hang on just a second. All right, so we had Jose who had 181 books at the beginning. Once you're finished with that, then you are going to come over to your exit ticket. There's that exit ticket right there. You are going to send that to your teacher. Make sure that you figure out what algorithm is going with the model here on your place value chart. Draw it here and finish the problem. And then you're going to make the new algorithm out of 136 plus 39 here and show the chip model here in your place value chart. And then send that to your teacher. All right, I hope you're having a great day of learning. And I don't know about you, that I liked the chip model because it was very, in my opinion, easy. And I'm hoping that your parents are going, woohoo, I sort of get this one. All righty. So you have a great day of learning, and we'll see you again on the next lesson. Bye-bye.